There is one invisible habit that separates people who merely dream from those who actually achieve extraordinary lives. It is not talent. It is not intelligence. It is not luck. It is something far more powerful because anyone can develop it, yet very few people truly commit to it. Every successful person you've ever admired shares this one characteristic, and once you understand it, you'll never look at success the same way again. The greatest tragedy is not failing once. It is quitting the small actions that could have transformed your entire future. Imagine waking up every morning knowing exactly how to move closer to your dreams, regardless of your mood, your circumstances, or the obstacles standing in your way. By the end of this speech, you will discover why most people remain stuck for years, how tiny daily decisions silently shape your destiny, and the simple mindset that allows ordinary people to produce extraordinary results. Stay until the very end because the final lesson may completely change the way you approach every single day of your life. Success is rarely the result of one giant decision. More often, it is the outcome of hundreds of ordinary choices made consistently over time. People admire the harvest, but they ignore the planting season. They celebrate the trophy while forgetting the countless mornings when nobody was watching. They applaud the victory, but never see the discipline that created it. Every sunrise gives you a fresh opportunity. It asks only one question. Will you keep the promises you made to yourself yesterday? Your answer to that question determines the direction of your life. Most people believe they need more motivation before they can take action, but motivation is unpredictable. Some mornings it arrives with energy. Other mornings it disappears without warning. If your future depends on your feelings, your future will always remain uncertain. Instead, build your life around commitment. Commitment wakes up before motivation. Commitment continues when excitement fades. Commitment keeps moving even when results seem invisible. Think about a tree. It does not grow because someone cheers for it every day. It grows because its roots continue doing their work beneath the surface. The greatest progress often happens where nobody can see it. The same principle applies to your life. Every page you read, every workout you complete, every dollar you save, every promise you keep may seem insignificant today. But these actions are quietly building the person you are becoming. People often overestimate what they can accomplish in a week and underestimate what they can accomplish in 5 years of consistency. If you improve by just a small amount every day, eventually the difference between who you were and who you've become will be astonishing. The challenge isn't starting. Most people are excellent starters. They buy books, create plans, set ambitious goals, and feel inspired for a few days. The real challenge is continuing after the excitement disappears. Consistency begins where enthusiasm ends. Anyone can work hard when everything feels perfect. The champion continues when life becomes inconvenient. There will always be reasons to stop. You will be tired. You will be busy. You will be disappointed. You will experience setbacks. But remember this, obstacles are not interruptions to your journey. They are part of the journey itself. Every difficult day gives you an opportunity to prove that your purpose is stronger than your excuses. The remarkable thing about discipline is that it becomes easier the longer you practice it. At first, discipline feels like carrying a heavy weight uphill. Eventually, it becomes part of who you are. Your habits begin by requiring effort. Later, they begin providing energy. This is why successful people guard their daily routine so carefully. They understand that routines remove unnecessary decisions. Instead of asking whether they feel like working, they simply work. Instead of debating whether today matters, they know every day matters. One missed day may not destroy your progress, but repeated inconsistency quietly destroys your confidence. Confidence does not come from talking about your potential. Confidence comes from keeping promises to yourself repeatedly. Every time you follow through, you strengthen your self-respect. Every time you quit without reason, you weaken it. Eventually, your greatest battle is no longer against other people. It becomes the battle between the person you promised to become and the habits trying to pull you backward. Never underestimate the power of small victories. A single completed task creates momentum. Momentum creates belief. Belief creates persistence. Persistence creates extraordinary achievement. Your environment also matters more than most people realize. If you constantly surround yourself with distractions, your discipline will always struggle. But when your surroundings encourage growth, consistency becomes far easier. Success is rarely accidental. It is usually designed. Design your mornings, design your evenings, design your workspace, design your habits. When your life supports your goals become much easier to reach. There is another important truth many people overlook. Do not compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Comparison steals energy that should be invested in progress. Instead of asking whether you're ahead of someone else, ask whether you're ahead of the person you were yesterday. That single comparison will transform your life. Remember, consistency is not perfection. There will be mistakes. There will be setbacks. There will be days when everything goes wrong. The key is never allowing one bad day to become a bad week, one bad week to become a bad month, or one bad month to become a bad year. Return quickly, recover immediately, resume your journey without wasting energy on guilt. The future rewards those who continue moving. Life has an interesting way of testing your commitment before rewarding your effort. Often your greatest breakthroughs arrive shortly after your greatest temptation to quit. Many people give up only a few steps before the results appear. Do not make that mistake. Stay in the process. Trust the daily work. Believe in the invisible progress. One day, what once felt impossible will become your normal routine. People will call you disciplined. They will call you successful. They may even call you lucky. But you will know the truth. The truth is that success was never created in one dramatic moment. It was built quietly, patiently, and consistently, one ordinary day at a time. And if you continue showing up every single day, regardless of circumstances, you will eventually discover something extraordinary. Consistency doesn't just change your results, it changes your identity. Once your identity changes, your future changes forever. Your future is not determined by what you do once in a while. It is determined by what you choose to repeat every single day. There are too many people wait for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect feeling before they begin. But life does not reward those who wait. Life rewards those who move. Every sunrise presents you with a decision that seems small, almost insignificant. Will you take one more step toward your goal, or will you postpone it until tomorrow? That simple decision, repeated over weeks, months, and years, becomes the foundation of your entire future. The successful person and the unsuccessful person often begin with similar dreams. The difference is not the size of the dream, but the consistency of the daily actions. Small habits are like tiny seeds planted in fertile soil. At first, they appear to accomplish nothing. You cannot see dramatic results after one day or even 1 week. But beneath the surface, something powerful is happening. Every positive action strengthens your character, sharpens your discipline, and builds momentum that eventually becomes impossible to ignore. The greatest mistake people make is underestimating the power of repetition. Reading 10 pages each day, exercising for 30 minutes, learning one new skill, or improving by just 1% may not seem impressive today. But these actions compound into extraordinary achievements over time. Never measure your progress by a single day. Measure it by the person you are becoming. Every promise you keep to yourself increases your confidence. And every consistent action tells your mind that you are someone who finishes what you start. Remember, your habits are quietly writing the story of your future long before the results become visible. If you want a different tomorrow, protect your daily routines today. Success is not built through occasional greatness. It is built through ordinary actions performed with extraordinary consistency until excellence becomes your identity. Big achievements rarely come from one extraordinary effort. They are almost always the result of small actions performed faithfully over a long period of time. People are naturally drawn to dramatic success stories because they are exciting. But what they often fail to notice is the quiet routine that made those stories possible. The truth is that consistency in the little things will always outperform occasional bursts of intense effort. Anyone can work hard for one day when they feel inspired. Anyone can stay focused for a week after watching a motivational video. But real growth belongs to the person who continues taking small, meaningful steps long after the excitement has disappeared. Imagine two people starting at the same point. One spends 10 hours working on a single day and then does nothing for the next week. The other works just 1 hour every day without missing. At first, the first person appears more productive, but over time, the second person quietly pulls ahead because steady progress compounds while inconsistency wastes momentum. Every page you read, every workout you complete, every skill you practice, and every positive decision you make is like adding another brick to the foundation of your future. One brick may seem insignificant, but thousands of bricks create a building strong enough to withstand any storm. Never underestimate the value of small victories because they create confidence, and confidence creates the desire to continue. Progress does not require perfection, it requires persistence. Some days your best may look different from other days, but showing up still matters. A small step forward is always more valuable than standing still while waiting for the perfect opportunity. Remember that greatness is never built in a single moment. It is built through countless ordinary moments where you choose discipline over comfort, action over excuses, and consistency over intensity. When you learn to respect the power of small daily efforts, you unlock the secret that turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. Discipline is often misunderstood as something that limits your freedom, but the opposite is true. Discipline is what creates freedom. The person who develops self-control gains the freedom to choose their future instead of becoming a prisoner of temporary emotions. On the other hand, excuses may feel comfortable in the moment, but they quietly steal opportunities, confidence, and progress until regret becomes the only thing left. Every excuse sounds reasonable when you first hear it. I'm too tired. I'll start tomorrow. I don't have enough time. I'll wait until the conditions are better. These words may bring temporary relief, but they also postpone the life you truly want. The disciplined person faces the same challenges, the same setbacks, and the same moments of doubt. The difference is that they refuse to let excuses make decisions on their behalf. They understand that every choice they make today either strengthens their future or weakens it. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when no one is watching, even when there is no applause, and even when the results are still invisible. It is waking up with purpose instead of waiting for motivation. It is choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term comfort. Every time you honor your commitments despite inconvenience, you build a stronger version of yourself. Every time you resist an excuse, you prove that your goals are more important than your temporary feelings. Over time, discipline stops feeling like a burden and becomes a natural part of your identity. It gives you the freedom to control your habits, your time, your finances, your health, and ultimately your destiny. Excuses, however, create the opposite effect. They slowly hand control of your life to circumstances beyond your control. Years later, many people don't regret working too hard or staying committed. They regret the opportunities they ignored, the dreams they abandoned, and the promises they never kept to themselves. Choose discipline today because the pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret can last a lifetime. Confidence is not something you are born with, nor is it something that magically appears after achieving success. True confidence is built through consistency. It grows every time you keep a promise to yourself, no matter how small that promise may seem. Many people believe they must first become confident before taking action, but life works in the opposite direction. Action comes first, and confidence follows. Every time you wake up and choose to complete the task you planned, you send a powerful message to your mind that you are reliable. Every workout you finish, every chapter you read, every skill you practice, and every goal you pursue strengthens your belief that you are capable of achieving more. These small victories may not impress the world immediately, but they transform the way you see yourself. That transformation is where real confidence begins. On the other hand, every broken promise weakens your self-belief. When you repeatedly tell yourself that you will start tomorrow, your mind slowly stops trusting your own words. Eventually, doubt replaces confidence, not because you lack ability, but because you have trained yourself to expect inconsistency. The good news is that confidence can always be rebuilt. It starts with one commitment and one completed action. You do not need to change your entire life in a single day. You only need to prove to yourself that you can finish what you begin. As those completed actions accumulate, your confidence becomes stronger than fear, stronger than uncertainty, and stronger than the opinions of others. Soon, challenges that once seemed impossible become opportunities to grow rather than reasons to quit. Remember, confidence is not created by talking about success or dreaming about a better future. It is created by the quiet discipline of showing up every single day. When your actions consistently match your intentions, you develop an unshakable belief in yourself, and that belief becomes the foundation upon which every lasting achievement is built. Before you can master your goals, you must first master your habits. Goals are important because they give your life direction, but habits determine whether you ever reach that destination. Many people become obsessed with setting ambitious goals at the beginning of the year, the beginning of the month, or even the beginning of the week. They write down inspiring plans, imagine extraordinary results, and promise themselves that this time everything will be different. Yet, after the excitement fades, most of those goals quietly disappear because the daily habits required to achieve them were never established. A goal without the right habits is like trying to build a house without laying a foundation. It may look impressive in your imagination, but it cannot stand the test of time. Success is not created by what you intend to do someday. It is created by what you repeatedly do today. Every habit, whether positive or negative, is casting a vote for the person you are becoming. If your daily routine is filled with discipline, learning, and purposeful action, your future will naturally reflect those choices. But if your habits are filled with procrastination, distraction, and inconsistency, even the biggest dreams will slowly drift out of reach. That is why successful people focus less on chasing results and more on improving the systems that produce those results. Instead of asking, how can I achieve this goal? They ask, what habits must I develop to become the kind of person who naturally achieves it? The answer to lasting success is not found in one dramatic breakthrough, but in the quiet repetition of simple actions. Wake up with purpose, protect your time, keep learning, stay disciplined when no one is watching. Let your habits become stronger than your excuses. Eventually, your habits will shape your character will shape your decisions, and your decisions will shape your destiny. When your daily actions align with your highest values, your goals stop feeling impossible because you have already become the person capable of achieving them. Success does not belong to the person who works only when inspiration strikes. It belongs to the person who refuses to quit on ordinary days. Anyone can stay committed when life is exciting, when progress is visible, and when everything seems to be going according to plan. The true test of character comes on the quiet mornings when nothing feels different, when the results have not yet appeared, and when no one is watching. These ordinary days are where extraordinary lives are built. Most people underestimate the importance of showing up when it feels like nothing is changing. They believe that missing one day does not matter, postponing one task is harmless, or waiting until tomorrow will make no difference. But success is never lost in one dramatic moment. It slowly slips away through small acts of inconsistency repeated over time. In the same way, greatness is not created by one remarkable performance. It is created by choosing to move forward on the days when every excuse feels convincing. The people who eventually achieve their dreams are not always the smartest or the most talented. They are often the ones who simply refuse to stop. They understood that every ordinary day offered another opportunity to improve, to learn, and to become a little stronger than they were yesterday. They did not wait for perfect conditions because they realized that perfection never arrives. Instead, they embraced the process, trusting that every small effort was preparing them for future success. There will be days when your energy is low, your motivation disappears, and your progress seems invisible. Those are the moments that define your future. If you continue despite discomfort, you develop resilience that cannot be taught in any classroom. Every time you refuse to quit, you strengthen your discipline and prove that your commitment is greater than your circumstances. Remember, champions are not separated from others by what they do on their best days. They are separated by what they choose to do on their ordinary days. Stay faithful to the process, remain patient with your progress, and never underestimate the power of simply showing up. One ordinary day, repeated consistently over time, becomes an extraordinary life. As we come to the end of this journey, remember that the life you dream about is not waiting for one extraordinary moment. It is waiting for your next ordinary decision. Your future is not hidden in luck, talent, or perfect timing. It is hidden in the choices you make every morning when no one is watching. Every day gives you two paths. One leads to comfort, excuses, and temporary satisfaction. The other leads to discipline, growth, and lasting fulfillment. The difference between these two paths may seem small today, but over the years, that difference becomes the distance between regret and achievement. Never underestimate the power of showing up. You don't have to be the fastest. You don't have to be the smartest. You don't have to have the perfect plan. You simply have to keep moving forward when others stop. Every page you read, every promise you keep, every challenge you overcome, and every step you take with consistency is quietly shaping the person you are becoming. Success is not built in the spotlight, It is built in the silent moments when you choose progress over procrastination and purpose over comfort. Life will continue to test your patience, your commitment, and your determination. There will be setbacks, disappointments, and days when quitting feels easier than continuing. But those difficult moments are not sent to stop you. They are sent to reveal the strength you never knew you had. Every obstacle carries a lesson, and every challenge is an invitation to grow into a stronger, wiser, and more disciplined version of yourself. One day people will notice your confidence, your success, and your achievements. They will wonder how you made it look so easy. But you will know the truth. It wasn't one lucky break. It wasn't one perfect opportunity. It was thousands of ordinary days when you chose to stay consistent, even when no one applauded your effort. So beginning today, stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for permission. The future you've been hoping for is created by the actions you take after this moment. Make consistency your lifestyle, discipline your closest companion, and growth your daily habit. Because the greatest investment you will ever make is not in the stock market, a business, or a career. It is in the person you become through your daily actions.